This podcast is rated PG.
Wait, that's a thing?
No.
I think you have to say the ratings now.
No, but this is just
Podcasts have changed, hasn't it?
This is just a random intro that comes at the beginning of the video.
Parents with kids in the room, and you say this podcast is rated R, then they'll just
Well,
take the kids out of the room and...
Well, we can make it R. It might get us some more audiences. Alright guys, welcome to episode 2 of the MattG podcast. I'm MattG.
I'm Mr. Techx.
I'm Ray.
Asian Ray.
I'm Asian Ray.
Yeah, because you're Asian and you're Ray.
Yeah.
And it's not racist.
I've been classed.
Yeah. Alright, so how are we all?
I'm good. A bit tired from work.
Not too bad. I'm tired from being lazy.
Yeah, I'm tired because I got baby strapped to me and she's tired and fallen asleep.
Yeah. So we're all doing... So we're, as you can tell, we're very...
Energized.
Energetic and motivated.
Should probably take some Coke. Yeah, maybe that will...
Coca-Cola for our PG audience.
Yeah, for the PG audiences, Coke. For everyone else, you know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your PG-orientated minds, but still, you know what we're talking about.
Diet Coke.
Yeah, that's...
Pepsi.
Coke.
Yeah.
Coke Zero.
Coke Zero.
Yeah. Anyway,
You know.
Alright, so last time I did a really long-asked intro as to our favourite writing tool, Campfire. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to say this podcast is brought to you by Campfire. Link in the description below. If you don't know what Campfire is, check out the previous podcast. A very long intro explains it. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure I did the editing, so...
Please, Matt, explain us what this Campfire is. What do they do?
Well, in your genuine attitude of not knowing what Campfire is, I should explain
I
it.
don't know what Campfire is.
Campfire is the writing tool thing that was...
writing tool.
Yes.
And what does it do? Does it help you write?
Yes, Asian Ray. It does help you write.
Right. Thank you.
It is
Thank you for noticing my colour and my heritage.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So, is there a trial? Is this free?
It can be free for 10 days,
10
as
days.
I explained in the previous podcast.
All right. Well, I thought we have to talk about every podcast about this.
No, I'm just doing it as a one-off. This podcast is brought to you by Campfire, as I explained before we started recording the podcast.
All right, then.
All right, so what are we talking about today? We did write it down, but I don't have it in front of me, so...
I didn't write it.
We're talking about new games. The Avengers Superbowl trailer.
Ooh, Superbowl trailer. That's been out for about a week or so now. It's sunk into everyone.
It came out, last week. So, the Super Bowl game. It's an American sport thing, which nobody watches. Only for the trailers.
Yeah,
That's what they come there for.
Yeah, showed it was slap bang in the middle of that, and it basically gave us an extra 30 seconds of Avengers Endgame. Are we excited about this?
Yes.
I can tell. Yeah,
We are excited, and well, we are going to speak more about it. We have to.
Yes, for the record, we are ecstatic.
Yes.
Genuinely.
Yeah. Even the baby.
Alright, so I don't know about you. This didn't necessarily answer much, just gave us more stuff to wonder about.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want to talk about is this black and white bit at the very beginning. Because it basically covers every sort of person who got snapped.
So, should we now call it a term as dusted?
Fine. Dusted because of our PG orientated.
I mean, it's nothing to do with PG. We just need to call. How do you kill someone? Well, we just
Can't you say
in a dusty way.
disappeared?
Or the tragedy.
No, just dusted. They just dust.
Fine, dusted.
They turned into smoke.
Well, the reason why I'm saying snapping is because
snapping it.
Because it's got a picture of Vision in it, and Vision literally got his head snapped open whenever he pulled the...
So you're going to call it the snapping in?
Yes.
Like the M. Night Shyamalan film?
Yes.
Snapping in.
Fine. I can say it with an accent if you like. The snapping.
Yeah, like M. Night Shyamalan just snaps his fingers and his career goes.
Right, so we've got Wasp, Spider-Man, T'Challa, Winter Soldier, Vision, and Doctor Strange.
Wait, he got snapped?
Yes.
He got dusted?
Yes.
Alright.
Falcon was in there. Yeah, and then obviously
Vision
the logo.
Vision didn't get snapped, did he?
No, he got the thing pulled out of his head.
Yeah, but he turned grey.
Yes,
That was weird. Did
He
you
got
know?
schnappened.
He didn't get snapped. He just he didn't turn into dust. He just got.
I didn't say he got dusted. He got schnappened.
Let's just keep it dusted. Now it's going to be confusing with the snapping in.
Okay, so it's basically got
Yeah.
near enough everybody who died
Yeah. He
from something to do with
turned
Thanos.
into petrol steam.
And there's a theory abound that
He
because these people have been mentioned in this clip, that these are the guys who are coming back. I mean, obviously we
Do you
know
think
Spider-Man's coming
everybody is
back.
coming back?
I don't think everyone's coming back because there are obviously people who died prior to the dusting. Yeah, like
Oh, yeah,
Gamora,
like
Loki, and we haven't seen them in this intro thing.
I think because of spoilers, they're not going to give everybody.
Oh, yeah, but I will say, sort of prior to us sort of going into any detail, that I'm very, very suspicious of how much information Marvel is actually giving us.
Do you think Loki will come back? I mean, he's really like lovable. He's like one of the main
Yeah,
good villains that who has to
I would
come back.
I would love Loki to come back and then have his own movie with sort of like one-off pick characters from other sort of like movies.
I just think that scene in Ragnarok when Anthony Hopkins they were doing a play with Matt Damon
Yeah.
and the guy from Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
They should just do that movie.
yeah,
That contained movie of like a parody.
yeah.
Thor
And-
Ragnarok.
Or it will probably be Loki has faked his death again. He's
Yeah.
like, yes, I faked my death. I just have that much sex appeal. I'm Loki. I'm Tom Hiddleston. Yeah.
I'm Tom Hiddleston. You won't come back as Loki, you should just come back as Tom Hiddleston. Hi guys.
Or it'll be Thor in sort of like the post-dusting, and he just walks around everywhere,
Post dust.
and every other person he sees is Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
And it'll just be like, Loki, no, I'm a bus driver.
Is Loki the only person that died? Oh, Gamora. Yeah, Gamora. Huh?
Yeah, Gamora was thrown into the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think she will come back. I mean,
I'm in two minds. But I mean, the actress has hinted that she's been doing filming, and she hasn't been specific on what. So, the first thing that we see in this trailer is a shot of New York City,
yeah.
and we can see there's nothing going on here. There's no lights or anything to show the city is alive.
So I think
Yeah, but
because there was a rumor about this, the time frame is 5 years
yes,
or
but
1 year. I don't know what's the.
I'm not
debate about.
particularly convinced about this 5-year thing. But I'm probably wrong, because. But the reason why I'm not so keen on it is because there's two pieces of evidence that people are using for this. One is Black Widow's hair, which I'll touch.
What in 5 years that's going to change?
Which I'll touch upon in a minute. But the main one is that Ant-Man in the previous trailer, when he was shouting into the intercom, he said, "We met a few years ago in Germany," and they met in Germany in 2016. So a few is what, 3 to 5, or something like that.
Yeah.
A couple is 2, a few is 3 to 5. So if it was going to be anything less than 3, he would have said a couple.
And also another evidence is there is a scene where all the boats are around Statue of Liberty. Like there are all the ships there, and that looks like it's like a 5 years to get all that together.
So-
I mean, all that waves of water just bringing the ships towards the land.
I mean, you can get a lot done in like a very short space of time if you put your mind to it.
Can you get all those ships in 1 year into around
Well,
the Statue of Liberty?
well, technically speaking, Liberty Island isn't actually that big, so it wouldn't actually be able to house that many boats. We're not talking like aircraft carriers with refugees like in
Because
World War Z.
That scene, you can see, if it's 1 year, there will be just rioting.
Yeah, so,
But 5 years looks like it's kind of calm,
yeah, but
and everyone kind of accepted that
But-
the dog is missing.
we'd
Dog has got dusted.
my dog,
My dog.
and it just happens that this dog belonged to Keanu Reeves,
Yeah.
and now he's gone on a shotgun
Keanu
spree,
Reeves.
and
He's just shooting everyone.
and Thanos is just calmly tending his garden, and he just wakes up and a shotgun's pointed to his face, and it's Keanu Reeves like, "You killed my dog."
Thanos is just died.
But we can clearly see in these images of cities that nothing is happening. So that in the scene of Statue of Liberty, the only light source that we're seeing is actually from
The Statue of Liberty.
the only light
Like
source.
one guy in the.
So we're not even seeing any sources of like fires in little shanty towns or anything. We're literally just looking at.
So this would this look more like 5 years or 1 year?
I'm more inclined
Or
for.
did everyone just park their boats?
I'm more inclined for a few years because, as you said, we would have a period of rioting, then some sort of military crackdown, then some level of normalization.
Yeah.
So I'm more inclined for it to be at least a few years, maybe not 5. But,
At least 3 years.
Yeah,
to get that
I would say
calm
3 years minimum, 5 years max. But
do you have any theories of why there's so many boats?
Well, I could basically see like the city has gone to absolute crap because the metropolises that we're seeing in like New York City, London, Paris, and stuff, they're basically kept in check by a constant level of maintenance
Yeah.
that you don't see unless you actually look for it, like garbage disposal, sewage stuff, just we were tending the roads. And if the US or anywhere has lost half of its workforce and they're unable to maintain these things.
So those boats are just people.
Yeah, it could be that people have actually fled the city because the city has lost power. The economy has completely collapsed, so there's no one to maintain the cities.
Yeah. I'm still confused. Why would there be boats? If there's half the population on Earth is there,
Well, but
would
also
it still continue? Would it function as a world, as economically, do you think?
I could imagine something united like the US would. Maybe not sort of like somewhere like the Middle East or something like that. Or even Europe. I think Europe would struggle more than the US would.
You're struggling right now, to be honest.
Yeah, true point. But I think because but I can guarantee
Yeah.
I'll legitimately bet money on this that the guy who started the Civil War in the first place, the guy with the moustache,
Who?
the politician guy who's
I thought you meant Captain America.
no, but the politician who started the whole Civil War, I can guarantee that he's alive just to piss everyone off. Yeah, and everyone's like, out of everybody who got dusted, you had to survive. Sort of thing.
But I'm sure it won't make a difference if there's half the population in the world. I mean, you could just carry on.
Well, resources-wise, there'll suddenly be loads more food and stuff, which is sort of vibe that Thanos was, going for.
Yeah. I think Thanos' idea is kind of good.
Oh yeah,
I think we can all agree.
Yeah, population cull will probably happen at some point in it and all that, but I think it would have to, in order for it to work, you would have to be in a position where you could prepare for it. And I think the fact that it just suddenly happened and nobody knew what was happening.
Oh, yeah, because Samuel L. Jackson was just seeing planes just falling off the sky, or there's a helicopter falling in the sky.
Yeah, so say like, I don't know, there was some sort of like battle in, I don't know, like the Middle East, which was happening right at that very moment. And it just so happened that one side got dusted and the other didn't. That would then mean that the force that technically won that battle would be able to go in and destroy the other city. So, but
I think this is just everyone even, though.
I don't know, because we see a flash of the Wakandan army whenever they got dusted.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep saying that just to annoy you.
No, I like it. I like it. Dusted term.
And
it's like we're sweeping a little dust off the, with a brush.
That's the point. Who's going to clean up all the dust after the entire universe has been wiped out?
There is no dust. It's just smoke.
Didn't it disappear?
Well, it does, but there's going to be obviously situations where a big pile of dust is just like...
That's what we should teach kids to don't do vaping. Vaping is bad for you.
I can just imagine, like, I don't know, the Punisher or something like that. It's like
he'll just carry on.
A massive pile of dust has just appeared in front of him and just pulls out a cigar.
Yeah.
Okay, so So yeah, we're basically seeing the decrepitness of what's left behind. I think that's the best way of describing it.
So another question for that: where do you think everybody is?
I think everybody has been shunted into one particular area. It's not necessarily like camp like the Nazis would have or anything like that, but I think the majority of the population has been sent to one particular area where the military can keep them in check and allow the rest of the world to sort of...
Do you know what this reminds me of? This scene? Dark Knight Rises. I'm kind of getting like a Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, when the city has been occupied
and bridges blown up, and it was just kind of like this quiet period when everyone was just
not
indoors,
doing anything and
indoors and
because I can basically see like various cities just being left to collapse. Like downtown Detroit, for example, because they covered that in Top Gear, and the place is just complete desolate area anyway. So there are areas in the world that will just be allowed to die off, and other areas where they would try to
rebuild slowly.
Yeah.
And have Captain America's self-help meeting.
Speaking of self-help.
Okay, let's stop here.
So we've got...
Do you want to go back to the stadium, or do you want to...
Well, I just think the stadium is just another bit of the desolation, because obviously no sport is happening as a result of this snapping, because half of the world's teams have been
I thought something was going to happen in the stadium.
I can understand some sort of like refugee food thing happening, but the fact that we're looking at it being empty, and clearly empty for a while, tells me that things like sport and stuff like that's been discontinued.
Yeah. I don't know, so they're just kind of seeing the overall destruction of Thanos, like what he left behind. Okay, let's see Captain America's self-help group.
We
should join.
Yeah, so we basically just see a poster saying, "Where do we go now that they're gone?" And they obviously mean Victor. And we basically see the shot of a tiny little, I don't know, looks like an assembly hall of some sort.
Yeah, it's like a self-help meeting, like,
Yeah, but...
I'm an alcoholic. I think everyone...
Yeah, but that's the vibe that I'm getting. Like, it's a little community group. It's not something state-sponsored. It's just a bunch of guys meeting in a deserted building and talking. That's the vibe that I'm getting. Because chairs are on desks. This place has been very tidily shut down. And more importantly, there's no windows.
So I think in the movie, this will be like a quiet period of like character bonding. So maybe each of them has something to say of how they feel.
Yeah, because the only person that we actually see in this group is Captain America.
Yeah, and his mouth.
Yeah,
the way he moves his mouth.
He's doing this weird tongue and cheek thing.
He's like angry, but hungry at the same time.
Yeah, angry.
He's hungry. He's like, no food. Captain America.
But this actually raises a question which a lot of people have been asking. Does Captain America have PTSD at this point?
What do you mean?
Well, given everything, all the crap that he's been through, fine, I will say stuff, because this podcast is very PG.
Yeah.
And because of everything he's been through, and the fact that he was abandoned by the government, came back to save the day, was still abandoned by the government, and then lost both of his best friends, is clearly in a position where he can't do jack about it. Yeah, but
I wouldn't say he got PTSD. I think he's just angry and he's just hopeless. I think maybe because the years have passed and he can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, because loads of people have been asking this. Like, there's loads of articles and YouTube videos about, does Captain America have PTSD? And I would say no, because if he was going to get it, he would have got it a lot sooner, I would say.
Yeah, I don't think he has PTSD.
Yeah, but I could see him being dark and brooding like a Batman character. So I could see this being a very dark Captain America from this point onwards.
Because I think he's going to be carrying the film.
But
him.
Yeah, but I mean, so I could see
because he's going to be the voice of like the pain of everybody or what loss is. So
yeah, I could see him basically being the brooding side. Then when the fight comes, he's going to be brutal.
America.
Not necessarily patriotic, but
patriotism.
Oh yeah, he'll be patriotic because he's Captain America. But I could see him like in fight scenes where he'll just like whack somebody with their shield, and he'll fly off into the distance, but will never be seen again. I could see him like grabbing a guy, throwing him to the ground, beating the living crap out of him.
So do you think he'll be more violent? Will he be like Batman, Ben Affleck?
Well, Disney has
smashing people in the ground.
I would say that level of violence, yes, but I don't think it'll be something particularly violent and bloody.
Because I think he still has that.
Yeah, he's still
moral.
the good guy.
He's got that Captain America moral.
Yeah. What do you think, Tech?
Do you think Captain America will be more violent, become more Ben Affleck Batman?
No, I don't think it would.
He might be close to it because of what he lost, the loss he had, and the anger he has. I mean, look at that mouth.
Yeah. Look at the hairstyle.
Yeah, look at that.
I also would like to mention he's lost the beard. Yeah, I like the beard.
I didn't like the beard.
I did. But then again, I like beards on characters anyway. Like every single role-playing game that I'll play, I always put a beard on my character.
What do you think? Beard or no beard for Captain America?
Bearing in mind that Techx does actually have quite a substantial beard.
Yeah. I mean, I'm growing, but that's just, stress and work.
I think actually he looks more about the beard.
Yeah, he looks better. I mean, he looks like the Captain America that we knew from the first film.
Unless, the beard has become his mask, so whenever he puts the uniform on, there'll be just some stubble just floating in midair and he'll just have to reach up off a shelf, slap it onto his face.
How did he shave? I mean, all those years, I would be just getting my beard more bigger.
Unless, it's like a proper, hardcore thing where he just dips his shield in water and just scrapes the hair off.
You see the Avengers logo just come up. Avengers logo just comes up in the beginning of the film. Just Captain America just shaving for 10 minutes.
Or he'll go up to Thor and is like, Thor, how did you shave your beard, given that you have no Gillette electronic shavers?
Because the way he's moving his mouth is like after you shave, you just kind of have it's kind of.
I could just imagine him coming out of a fight and he's got loads of pieces of tissue stuck to him. And he's like, what's the tissues for? He's like, I cut myself shaving.
But my theory is when everyone got dusted, his beard had gone too. He just lay down saying, Mr. Stark, I don't feel good. His beard just disappeared.
Then we've got this scene of Tony Stark and Gamora teching away at what we assume is a spaceship. Well, Tech, you're the sort of electronics guy. What do you think is happening here?
I think we can all figure that out.
Do you think this scene comes before or after Stark makes his last will and testament?
I'm going to say it's probably after.
Yeah, after, because I think it will be like that scene, you have that slow emotional moment, then it just wraps up into a montage of fixing things. You know how it goes, the tropes in movies, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, but I'm the other way. I think this is at the beginning, or before his last will and testament. There's a montage bit of him fixing it, then realising that whatever he is out of his control.
And the camera pans down and it's just a computer case and he's just putting a GTX card.
Damn it, I don't have warranty for this.
And he just sets up a monitor and just plays 7 days.
But
we got Minecraft.
Because I think the only way that they could do it where this comes after the last will and testament is that he gives up, records the message, and then suddenly has this epiphany and was like, oh, if I plug this USB into the computer, it will fix everything. But my point is that the only way that they could do it is if he finds this ridiculously simple solution for fixing the ship, and it then results in everybody on YouTube basically screaming at the screen. Yeah. Why didn't he do that in the first place? Why did he lose hope and not do this?
But the thing is, anyway? I love this scene because this is what Iron Man is original.
Yeah,
meant to be. He's meant to be like the inventor, engineer. Yeah.
I have to admit, I didn't like the OP-ness that Iron Man was gaining.
Yeah, so I think after Iron Man 2, he's kind of stopped with the whole fixing engineering thing, and he focused more on superhero work.
Yeah.
But I love this because this, the first Iron Man film when he was in the cave.
Yeah, he was.
This is kind of reminds me of him building.
Yeah, I would love for him. I would love for them if they did do this scene for him to have flashbacks of the scene in the cave.
It's a long movie.
No, but even if it's just a momentary flash. Like
Yeah.
he strikes something, and then he has a flash of striking the Iron Man helmet, or something like that, and that gives him an extra spur.
Yeah,
But,
I think we'll
and-
leave that out. I think it's gonna be too.
But do you see the angle I'm coming from?
Yeah. But I think after he records it, he's just gonna be like, let's
Either
go
that,
home.
either that, or Nebula basically come in and is like, "What the hell are you doing? We got work to do." And he's like, "Yeah, sorry," and he gets to it.
Alright.
So-
We can make a bet. Which one first?
How much?
How much would you bet that Captain America just starts shaving?
We'll focus on this scene first.
Alright, yeah, Iron Man.
How much do you want to bet that this came before or after? So you said after, didn't you?
Yeah, I said.
Okay, how much do you want to bet that this came after the Last Will and Testament?
I don't know. I'm just like a pound.
But will you bet the popcorn that we buy when we see this movie?
Oh yeah, I would legally buy this on Blu-ray when it comes out.
What about you, Chuck?
I would bet you a £5 game on Steam.
Done. Okay, next scene is basically Captain America, Banner, War Machine, and Black Widow standing in a field. Everybody has a very dedicated space where they're standing. In between Banner and War Machine, there's a very sizable gap. Do we think someone has been edited out of that bit?
Matt, who did you say it was last time?
Well, I personally think... Oh, no, I don't think I would want it to be an empty space where a portal opens and Wong steps out.
No, you said some other character that goes small.
Oh, Ant-Man. Yeah, it's possible that Ant-Man is
Can you
is
elaborate
standing...
why it would be Ant-Man in that tiny space?
It's possible that it is Ant-Man because we know that Ant-Man's already there and he's shrunk.
No, you
by
said
accident.
Ant-Man, not Ant-Man as himself, but Ant-Man as the shrunk character.
Yeah, and
Just walking.
he's shrunk and he's walking. Like, he's back where the lights are because he can't keep up with them, and he's very slowly making his way.
He's just running. Basically, just running. Wait up for me, guys.
Full pelt. I'll get there in 3 weeks.
So in the film, you could just see the grass just like waving side to side because Ant-Man is running towards them.
But I will say, Marvel have done this before. Because in Civil War, the trailers, they edited out the Spider-Man bit until they actually did the Spider-Man reveal in trailers.
No, Spider-Man was in the trailer.
No, when they did the Spider-Man reveal, he was. But there was a bit where everybody was running at each other,
everybody,
and they edited out Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that long.
The way he was running and where they jump into each other.
Did they also edit out Ant-Man? Yeah, I think they edited out Ant-Man and Spider-Man.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is something that they've done before. So it could be this is a really insignificant
Yeah.
point.
Same as Thor Ragnarok, they edited out Chris Hemsworth's eye
Yeah.
in the end scene when he was fighting.
Yeah, so this could literally mean like anything or nothing, and it's
Yeah.
literally just something that Marvel have put in place just to get free marketing.
Yeah, or else
Because
to speculate.
Yeah, because people like us
If Ant-Man is
will,
running through that grass, it's a grass waving.
yeah, because people like us will be discussing who is in this gap, who is this mystery character who's suddenly going to, appear or undust themselves. Okay, so the next bit is
Should we say scene?
the next scene is Rocket and basically stepping into a wooden cabin.
Can we go back to Rocket then? We can just speculate of where he is. If you can see the background.
Well, he's on the coast, I would say. Not just because we see the waves in the background, but we're also seeing sort of like a fishing bin behind him.
Oh, what did you say last time about this scene?
So personally, I would like to think this is Norway. Question that has been bugging me ever since the beginning of Infinity War
Yeah.
is what has happened to this supposed other half of the Asgardians. Because Thor constantly talks about like how half of his people were killed off, about how half of his people were killed by Thanos, and clearly half are still alive.
Yeah.
I want to know where these other people are, because when Thanos left, he destroyed the Asgardian ship.
Yeah.
So unless they're on Thanos' ship and gone to do and being sold into slavery or whatever, I don't know.
I don't think Thanos does that. The thing is, Thanos, he's like the villain, yeah, but he
He has a
doesn't
code.
do-
Yeah, so
He's kind of that street code that he has a vision, like overall, like good of what he's doing, half the population, and
so what I would want to happen in this however long gap is that Thor has gone off to find the Asgardians, and Rocket, being a fellow alien, has decided to go with him.
Yeah.
And so, because Anthony Hopkins has said Norway is Asgard.
Did he?
Well, in so many words. They were in Norway and said this can be Asgard.
So what do you think?
So I think what has happened is Thor has gone off, found the Asgardians, brought them back to Earth. Yeah. They're now living in Norway, and Rocket is just there, trying to find some purpose in his life.
All right. Wait, so the North mythology kind of repeating itself?
Yeah.
In Norway?
Yeah. It's possible, particularly if people are starting to abandon like harsher regions to...
Yeah, because it's half the population, so I'm sure they can fit like half the Asgardians.
Well, technically it would be a quarter of the Asgardians now, because half of the half would have been... Okay, so the next scene is Scarlett Johansson in a shooting range.
She's just got Beats headphones in?
Yeah, but the thing that loads of people are discussing, like in regards to her hair, is that throughout this trailer and the previous one before that, her hair is different lengths.
No, I don't know.
So at one point it's at her shoulders, like it normally is, but in this one it's in a knotted bun.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a ponytail.
Yeah, but it's knotted. It's braided and then knotted, which obviously would decrease its length.
Yeah.
And then in another scene, I think it's where she approaches Hawkeye after he's like wiped his sword after killing a guy in the middle of the street. I think it's down to her waist, more or less.
Yeah.
So people are basically saying that it's been how many years because of Scarlett Johansson's hair.
So they have to kind of calculate
completely ignoring the fact that hair doesn't follow the same rules as it does in real life as it does in movies. But either way, I don't particularly care about it.
Yeah, I don't care. We're just here to speculate on why she's shooting.
Well, she's training. I mean,
she's training. Yeah. Okay, the next scene is when Captain America says "America" and everyone just puts their...
Well, we don't actually know whether or not he says "America."
I love that.
But this is something which a lot of movies are a trap which they've fallen into, in my opinion. Particularly in films like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, basically where instead of sort of like rushing into a fight and just getting it started, the hero will basically run up to the bad guy, pose in some fashion, and then have a sort of stare down and then fight.
So this is your theory of...
So it's like someone is attacking, hypothetically, somebody is attacking the Avengers base.
Yeah.
Right? But instead of just like flying off to...
but there is no drama.
Yeah, I know. It's for drama's sake, but I don't particularly think that these two activating their suits is particularly...
It looks cool though.
Oh yeah, it looks cool. But I think all that's happening here is that Captain America has done his motivational America sort of speech. Yeah, and everyone has just turned on their outfits and then it's the end of the scene and everyone's like, okay, so what now? And it's like, it's going to take us about 5 hours to fuel up the Quinjet. So, and we're like, so we just turned on our outfits for nothing? It was like, yeah, pretty much. I don't know why you did that.
Yeah, I don't know why you did that, but America.
It's like a waste of fuel, resources. I mean, we're in the apocalypse. What the hell are you doing? Alright, so it's Thor...
Thor looking
broodingly into what I'm assuming is a fire.
Or maybe Thor the Dark World.
Or a burning building.
Yeah, so some sort of light, orange light, is flowing onto Thor's face. Thor is basically in
the Batcave.
Yeah, some sort of cave, but the architecture reminds me a lot of
Batman.
No, Asgardian stuff, which is what tells me that he's got his people back, has brought them somewhere, and they've now started rebuilding, not necessarily Asgard, but some sort of settlement. Yeah, so the next shot is Hawkeye in some sort of hole or ditch.
But with red lights.
Yeah, so the first thing I'm curious about is he going to be Hawkeye or is he going to be Ronin? Because in the comic books, Hawkeye goes through a transformation into a Yakuza Japanese agent who is called Ronin,
Yeah.
as in a fallen samurai. But they've obviously got a Ronin in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but he's dead, isn't he?
Yeah, but will they name him Ronin and confuse the two? Because obviously there's going to be people who will get confused by that. Or will they just simply
I think they'll
keep
just
him as Hawkeye?
Yeah, they'll keep him as Hawkeye.
Yeah, because then that will basically mean that he's got 3+ names. Like Agent Barson, Hawkeye, Ronin, and then probably whatever the Yakuza
Yeah, I think
would call him.
Yeah, they're not
So-
gonna stray off too much. They can keep it simple, you
Yeah.
know, for the general audience. Just to
To-
call him Hawkeye. That's just been.
Because it made sense for them to be calling him Ronin when he had shish kebab that guy in the middle of the street, and for some reason Black Widow was horrified by this. Yeah, and he's got a samurai sword. It makes sense for him to be
All
a
right.
samurai agent in
I
that.
think they're just gonna explain it quickly that he went.
But in this,
Mhm.
he's got his bow and arrow. He's clearly doing the Hawkeye gig.
I mean, he can use many weapons as he wants.
Oh
He
yeah,
just probably
but
has.
you get my point though. Marvel
Yeah.
doesn't really have much imagination when it comes to primary weapons. So
I think they'll just keep it simple. They're not gonna go too deep into like nerdy comics. They're just gonna say, yeah, Hawkeye. It's been a
Okay.
couple of years. He's the.
I could understand him having that moment where Black Widow finds him and he's like, "I'm not Hawkeye anymore. I'm Ronin." And she said, "That sounds utterly ridiculous. I'm just gonna keep calling you Hawkeye because it pisses you off," sort of thing. And he's like,
There's
"Oh,
like
fine."
bigger problems to worry about. Like half the population has got
Yeah,
what his
so-
name is.
Yeah, so but
I'm not Hawkeye anymore. It's like,
I-
I
I
don't
could-
really care.
I could see him having some sort of identity crisis, and everybody is like, "We don't actually care what you call yourself. Go
Yeah.
over there and do something."
So
Like
what
the
do you
car.
think the speculation of what the red light is?
I personally don't care, but I could see
I mean,
people.
it's
I could-
interesting. I mean, it's
People could say that it's a bomb, or or like a spaceship or something like that. Something really important to the story. But
Yeah,
I
I
could,
mean, this does look important if
but-
it's red and he's looking at it.
but I could see this just being any ditch anywhere in the world for any reason.
With the red lights.
Yeah, I mean it's not a blinking light.
Yeah.
It's a constant red. Yeah, thing. It might be that he's discovered like whatever red Infinity Stone. Yeah, put one.
Wait, that was all. But is the gauntlet? It's not destroyed then. The gauntlet.
No, it's just
After the
utterly
snapping.
fucked up. Oh, so now you're calling it the snapping.
Well, yeah.
You
'cause-
traitor.
No, Dustin was that everyone is Dustin, but the snapping in is when he snapped. So
The schnapping.
the
With
snapping.
a she.
It's like a drink.
Yeah, it'll just be like, Thanos' minions would be like, "Thanos, how do you plan on killing off the entire universe?" And Thanos will just pull out a massive bottle of Archer's, plonk on the table with schnapps.
Snaps. I mean, half of that will kill you anyway.
But we have this really iconic scene of
Oh.
Captain America's arm.
Yeah.
He's just strapping like
Yeah, he's strapping on what we can assume is the Captain America
Sex
shield
toys.
to his arm. Yeah, and everyone's like, "Oh, he obviously has something wrong with him because his hands are trembling."
Is he?
Apparently, like, I can see he's got a little bit of a shape to him, but I don't think it's anything
Maybe he's like,
long term.
America!
I think it's something more along the lines of he has just had the lip beaten out of him. His shield has come loose, and he's taking this scene to
Also, he's just like, he's just been beaten.
yeah, and he's like, "I'm not giving up." He reattaches his shield and goes
Comes
back
back.
into the fight. That's what my theory is on
He's
this
like
bit.
laying down, looking at others.
Yeah, he wouldn't whisper America. He'd be like, he'll do like the proper 300 Leonidas bits. He's got 2 arrows sticking in his chest, like from Hawkeye, and he'd be like, "America!" An entire barrage
And
of
he just
arrows would just
straps the shield.
yeah, and like an entire horde of arrows just like comes up, blocks out the sun, and completely annihilates him. And he's like, and then later on he'll be like, "But you just got shot full of arrows," and like, "I have a shield." Yeah, and we have ripped apart the entirety of the Super Bowl trailer. Do we think our opinions mean anything?
No, of course not. But who cares anyway?
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen predictions of other movies and they've been completely and utterly wrong.
Yeah. As
So-
this is like the biggest movie of the year, I would
Mm.
think. So 20, oh, So I think that's done with Infinity War and our predictions. And
Unless Tech has anything to say.
no, he's still
No, you're still just tinkering with your computer in the middle of this
I think
podcast.
he just wants to talk about 7 days. He's like, hurry the fuck up, guys.
Well, if that's the end of Endgame and the schnappening, Pip. And I do recommend everybody have a good glass of schnapps ready whenever they see it. Okay, Tech, you wanted to talk about RTX, didn't you?
RTX is a new form of calculations to process lighting, which NVIDIA's come up with, but this time it's in real time. So it's used in movies quite a lot.
Yeah.
However, it uses a lot of processing power, and it take quite a long time to render scenes with all this lighting calculations and all that lot. But RTX is designed to do it in real time. From what I've heard, at the moment there's not a huge list of games that actually support it just yet. But only time will tell if developers...
So does it give like dynamic lighting? Does it add lighting?
It's
Or
more
improves
effective
lighting?
lighting. So, for example, better reflections.
But is it only like a specific environments, like
No, it's used in all different...
forest or in any environments?
It's used in any environment which it's programmed into. So
It could be weather, lighting.
So yeah, for example, if it's been raining, you can see like minute reflections on the ground.
But would
Or-
you tell the difference, or would it be?
There would be a noticeable difference
Oh right.
with it and without it. So, good example is, let's say you have two reflective objects next to each other. It'll calculate the lighting between them multiple times.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's very good for like metallic and chrome surfaces.
Yeah. Because in games nowadays, you could just see reflection of metal
Yeah,
and chrome,
but this
but that's really
it's
expensive and
goes
hard to do.
more into like exact detail. Yeah, so that's something to good look up. Well,
So this is part of the chip, or this is, would you say, separate?
I believe it's an... Well, I don't know if it's an external chip or not. I think it is a part of the same processing unit which the built into the graphics card, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Right.
Yeah, so... Like I said, very limited amount of games actually use it yet.
Is this recent? Is this a new?
It's been a couple of months,
All right.
but yeah, not all games have yet incorporated it into. So I'd say existing games probably won't have it, and it'll probably be only the AAA titles which will start to incorporate it soon.
What do you mean, like COD?
Yeah, exactly.
So this will make its way into. So is this an engine? I mean, it won't be into like a console gaming.
It probably
It's
will,
not like
but
a
I would
hardware
say
thing, is it?
not necessarily next generation. I'd probably say the generation after that will probably be standard.
Yeah, well,
Yes,
the thing is, with most NVIDIA
Cycle?
technologies, let's say, they don't tend to release it to the public. For example, they've got the G-Sync, which is independent to NVIDIA graphics cards. And of course, they just will only release that technology to authorized vendors on their monitors. While AMD, on the other hand, they come up with FreeSync, which is open source. They go out to anyone. Anyone can use the products. Well, that's their technology. They both do the same thing, but one's for NVIDIA, one's for the AMD. Or, well, I suppose technically, the Intel, if they wanted to, could use the FreeSync as it is an open standard.
Mm.
But again, RTX, this ray tracing, that I believe that's going to just stay with NVIDIA. Probably going to be built into their graphics drivers. But I'd imagine that AMD in the future might have their own version of.
So first it'll be like a separate thing, then slowly will be
So it'd be
integrated
a
into
separate
like
thing,
a single.
but that thing, NVIDIA, if let's say one of the consoles wanted an NVIDIA to do all their graphics, then of course they'd have the RTX in there. However, I don't believe NVIDIA has done a graphics for a gaming console in quite a long time. I think they've mostly all been AMD based.
Yeah, so the machine which I do all of my gaming, that's AMD.
Yep, so Xbox One X uses an
AMD.
AMD Radeon chipset, so it's, very similar to what's in the standard computer.
Just
Yeah,
casual.
PlayStation 4 is also using AMD chipsets.
Yeah. So,
Oh.
but the thing that I don't get, but you remember the demo video that we watched? Of
Yeah.
the guy who like slams his hand into the ground and can't get out. That had a very Halo-esque sort of appearance to it, and I initially thought it was
Mass Effect, yeah.
Yeah, I initially thought it was a Halo trailer until the guy basically says everything you see here is in real time. Yeah, so do you think that might hint that future Xbox consoles might be looking into it? Or
I don't think so.
okay,
It was Halo-ish, but I don't think it was Halo. I think they just used that
It's like
type
a
of
demo.
it's a demo, to show off its capabilities.
I mean, it was awesome. I mean, so you could see, as the guy points out at the end of the demo, you can see the armor reflection
Yeah.
of the armor on the guy's arms.
You
and
still
stuff
have
like
that kind of plasticky feel. I mean,
Well, I suppose it
It's
would
not that
because it's
polished.
CGI.
yeah.
but-
They haven't reached that level of just like movie CGI.
I don't really think that level of CGI is going to happen in our
Yeah.
generation, though.
Yeah,
Well, saying that, if you think about it,
but you have
how
Last of Us.
computers were like 20 years ago,
Hmm.
they were just
8-bit.
squares, just
Yeah, but if you have
biting
like
up.
Last of Us Part 2 or Uncharted 4, we just have that graphics. It's just almost
Real
it's-
life.
Yeah, it's real life. It's just uncanny. Like
And of course, like a standard smartphone is more powerful than space rockets we've sent up to the moon.
Yeah. So.
yeah, it's more powerful than a laptop now.
Yeah.
Like iPhone.
So it is entirely possible that we can have
It's like really
almost
photorealism,
realistic.
Hmm.
Because you have Red Dead Redemption 2. It's just the Last of Us Part 2, just the animation. Because I played Uncharted 4 a bit, and that level of graphics.
What
Because-
console do you use?
Uh-huh.
Do you use PS3 still, is it?
No, PS4.
PS4.
Yeah, PS4.
Do you have the Pro version, is it
No,
Pro?
my mate's got a Pro version and is playing Uncharted 4, and it's just. I sat there thinking, it's not real, it's real, it's not. I think it's just that level of photorealism. I think that's where I think games are now getting more simplified, they're becoming more blockbusters.
Hmm.
So they're going away less fantasy and more into it. That's why Red Dead Redemption 2 is kind of more realistic. You can only carry around 2 guns.
Hmm.
At GTA 5, you have like 20 guns.
In that wheel, yeah.
So it's kind of, and you have to kind of feed yourself, look after your horse to Red Dead Redemption. It's like they're kind of going away from like the games you grew up with into more mature, realistic games.
I suppose the AAA titles are doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean,
I would have to do it anyway. That's the kind of evolution of games.
yeah, but I mean, just imagine like an animated TV series that was powered by RTX. Yeah, just imagine how incredible that would be. I mean, the guy in the demo had a very Iron Man sort of feel to him. Like, even down to the fact that he had a laser in his palm. You know, could you imagine like a Marvel animated series that was powered by this?
Now, one thing I did notice on that demo, not sure if anyone else noticed it or not, but there was a few skip frames.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Skip frames.
Yeah, say like you play a multiplayer, first-person shooter, and you just see people just spinning on the spot. But one of the reasons why they do that, aside from them being idiots, is to work out the frame rate. So if you if you basically spin and it's a fluid spin, then you have a high frame rate.
Yeah, you just don't have that lag.
If you jerk from like one angle to the other, you got a low frame rate.
Yeah.
So
that's one way of putting it.
So in a multiplayer game, you see people just spinning around. Yeah. They're just testing out there.
Well, some people are, others are just being idiots, like me.
Just dead around. Where are you?
Yeah, I noticed that whenever he there was a bit where it focused on like the bits protruding from his back or something like that, and where they were shaking up and down and then turning. I noticed that was a bit stiff.
Yeah, but we was debating this earlier. How many GTX cards were in that computer at the time when they was showing off that demo?
It would have to be a lot. Like, even if it was just for the sake of failsafe, in case one of them failed mid-demo and they had to swap to another one. But I'm guessing maybe 5, and that's being generous.
Do you think graphics can get any better?
Oh yeah.
After like the way Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I got a feeling you could get graphics.
No, I mean like 5 years time. Do you think it will just stay the same, just better
No,
lighting?
they're always going to get better. They're going to get to a stage where they can.
Would it get better or would it just get easier? Oh.
No, I'd say they get to a stage where, for example, we just watched that Lion King movie.
Yeah.
That, I believe, is all CGI. I believe in the future we're going to have games that are going to be have the same quality as the whole entire movie.
And then from that point...
in real time.
Yeah, and then from that point we're going to have more games that are going to be even better. And I think this is going to keep getting better and better and better until we get to a point where us as human beings are no longer able to comprehend how brilliant these things are.
Yeah, so they're literally going to get until they get lifelike.
Yeah, because this kind of stopped with the animations that are now doing more motion capture. Even though it involves animation, but now...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, because but I remember is going back a bit, but to the first Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, there was a behind-the-scenes thing where the director actually said, we employed a camera here that was designed to pick up things that the human eye cannot physically see. Yeah, and like when he does like the slow motion punches and stuff like that, they employ graphics into that, which we as human beings would not have been able to see even with a magnifying glass.
Oh, so because all the slow motion has to be kind of CGI'd.
And so I think that is basically that was a very one-off event, a very expensive one-off event. But I think it's going to keep getting to that point where that's going to be the norm, and it's going to become even more extreme than that.
So I think the evolution of graphics in video games, I think it's going to be better lighting, better textures, so better just quality of what all the characters look like.
And smoothness as well.
For example, if you used to, let's say, go close up to a brick inside a game, it's going to have a huge, detail, just that one single brick.
Yeah, like where you'll be able to see all of the rivets in the brick, even wear and tear. That I would love to see. Yeah, like a game where you start off on day 1, everything's new. Day 30 or whatever, everything's starting to wear down, like where rain is starting to wear away its walls or rust and stuff like that. I would love to see that.
I would love to go into gaming now. If you can give your thoughts quickly about VR.
I've actually got myself a VR headset on order.
Oh, You've had that on order since last year, February.
It is actually been dispatched.
Okay.
Dispatched.
It's been dispatched.
Yeah. Alright, before we carry on, how much did you spend on it?
I spent roughly £500 to £600 on it.
Okay. And that's for your PlayStation, isn't it?
PC.
PC.
Oh, so it's like a HTC or is it Oculus? Or?
Neither.
Oh,
It's a startup company called Pimax,
right.
and I've ordered the 5K headset.
So 4K is more or less what they use in cinemas, right?
No, 4K. Wait, they have 4K TVs.
Yeah, but but on the terms of scale, 4K is the level of detail they use in cinemas.
Pretty much, yeah.
So his headset is more detailed than a cinema projector that's designed to do like a 50-meter size.
Say that. Technically, it's 2.5K per eye.
Right. Okay.
So like
Yeah.
two. Yeah, like TVs, fully crisp HD TVs on your eye.
Yeah.
What do you think about VR?
I like the idea of it, and I want to try it, but I know I will struggle with it because I get motion sick. Even traveling in a car, I get motion sick.
Oh no!
So I would need to play a game where you're standing dead still on the spot and doing something.
So
If you employ walking, like in dread halls or like a first-person shooter where you have to move around,
yeah, I'm
I would
playing
struggle with that.
myself with the VR. That's called Skyrim VR, the PlayStation VR. As a starting point.
I tried that out once. The PlayStation VR is actually quite good.
That is my dream, is to escape into Skyrim. And as you say, every detail in a brick. I just want to see every detail on
They
a
do
tree.
have ants in Skyrim.
And
They do have ants.
yeah, I don't know that, but I thought you visit these games for the realism and you just want to be in the game. And I think VR is.
They've played a few VR games already, and I noticed that some of them, to combat the motion sickness, is instead of like getting the analog stick and walking around,
You're walking yourself.
no. You actually point to where you want to go, and you just teleport to that location.
Okay.
Instead of actually walking around. Like, so you don't move your character just by just making it walk along.
Or
you
like
just
use your
teleport to one
analog-
point,
analog
do what you
control.
want to do, then teleport to the next point.
Wouldn't that take some aspects of the gameplay away? So, I don't know if you guys have heard of dread halls, but it's basically this game where you start off in this labyrinth and you basically have to walk your way out of it. So in games like that, wouldn't that take something away from gameplay?
Yeah,
Possibly, but like I said, it does depend on the type of game you're playing though.
I would love to implement like a controller, you with a joystick. Once you go forward, you go forward.
Well,
Your character goes forward.
Well, what I've seen in most VRs is that you do actually have joysticks in your
Yeah.
hand that have toggles and buttons for you
Yeah,
to
so just keep it the
organise.
same, but also you do want that free range of movement with your hand, and also have a joystick to move around.
So one thing about this headset I've ordered is it's not completely finished designing the controllers for me yet, but they are designed that you can actually completely let go of them, and they actually attach around your wrist.
Sort of like an
like
exoskeleton
a-
sort of thing.
No, it's
Yeah,
like
so-
a Wii remote thing.
No.
Okay.
They literally stay around this area. They can
Oh,
actually.
I think the
can't
Oculus
remember.
has that. Oculus has that. Kind of, it's like a remote.
Yeah, but they
No,
still
but that's
got
just a little lanyard.
Yeah, they
if
still
you
got
drop
a
the
limb
controller,
to
it
let them go.
just swings down.
He's talking about you can let go,
Yeah.
the controls are still there, and you grab them back
Yes.
without them moving.
Oh, is that a thing?
It's like a steering wheel sort of thing.
Okay.
Like it's
But yeah,
still
that controller has to be attached to something. Wrist.
yeah, but you can see this guy here.
Yeah, he can let go of it and.
You completely let go, but you can use his closest wrist and grab straight
Wait,
onto
if
the
you
controller.
close your wrist, would that close your wrist in the VR?
No, because the game only recognises,
Buttons. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so
No,
it's
you're
not
wrong.
like
doesn't it?
They've actually got sensors in it, so it actually knows if you're holding a controller or not, but not even pressing buttons.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Does that mean that the game will recognise finger motions? Then?
Yes.
So you can point and
thing-
stuff in the game.
You should be able to, yes.
wow.
You can actually point in games.
Cool. That's the main worry that I have with games like motion controllers and Wii and VR and stuff. All of this works on the idea that you're capable of being active, have a big open space for you to be able to do this stuff.
Yeah, what do you think happened to the whole, let's say, Kinect era? and
It's
motion controller area.
it's
What do you think?
basically a situation that's best explained with a series of complex equations, but I'll basically summarize it.
Yeah.
No one cared. I think the only real way that VR could, bite the dust in the same way that the Wii and Kinect did, is if a brand new technology comes out and it's like a 4D, I don't know, holographic system that you see in a sci-fi movie.
Oh, yeah, they have
Or
that
or
hologram.
Something,
AR?
yeah, something along those lines that completely changes the virtual gaming experience. Yeah, so that headsets are no longer adequate to meet this market.
I think VR will do that. I mean, we all have this fantasy of going into a world, and I think VR is the only window we have.
Yeah,
to go
but
into.
until a new version of that comes out,
Yeah,
I think
we'll
VR
just
is going to stand strong.
I think it'll just get better over years until we get that Ready Player One level of VR.
That was a good movie.
It was. I enjoyed it.
Next, but yeah.
Now, one thing that some people haven't thought of is you can actually watch movies within a VR headset.
Yeah,
I've tried that before.
Oh, yeah.
With my old Oculus DK2.
Wasn't 50 Shades of Grey, was it?
It wasn't.
Wow.
But literally, I put myself in a virtual cinema and watched the movie on the big screen, and it actually felt like you was in a cinema.
How close? Where does it sort of position you in relation
Oh,
to
in
the
the
screen?
middle, in the middle.
You can move it.
middle
You
row.
can move yourself.
Oh, okay.
Mine was in the middle row.
You can actually just say, go to that seat, go to that seat.
Okay.
So it's quite an experience, I must admit.
Did you choose the corner seat and you had to crane your neck to the side? Like a real cinema.
One thing you also found out, you can actually watch 3D movies inside it as well, which is
Oh yeah,
weird.
it is 3D. That's the thing with VR. It's 3D.
Yeah.
I
So
paused the video.
it
and
literally
it's like,
gets,
3D.
well, I'd say it's even more realistic than IMAX.
Hmm.
Like the 3Dness of it.
Because I paused the video and it's like a 3D. It's just like a still image of life itself, like as you are.
So, but I don't really have a particularly high opinion of IMAX. But I've been to, I think, 4 IMAX screens, and every single one of them has left me wanting. I saw the first Avengers film in IMAX, and the only real sort of feeling that I got from it was I could tell when somebody was standing in front of somebody else.
Is this in IMAX 3D or just normal?
No, full out IMAX. The £20.
3D, yeah.
Or 3D IMAX?
£25 a ticket sort of IMAX.
3D then?
No, full out IMAX. Had IMAX in the title. So sort of a giveaway.
Oh, the IMAX film. Oh.
Yeah. And whenever I was working in movies, I would have to go to like other cinemas that had IMAX stuff so I could report on what they were doing. And so, I remember I went to the new IMAX screen in Leicester Square, and this screen was supposedly the biggest screen in Europe, but the room in relation to the screen was tiny. So even if you're at the back row, you had that vertigo sense that you were too close to the screen,
Right.
and that really ruined it as well. So
So there is a difference, isn't it? I mean, in quality and all
No.
that.
Yeah.
So
And the experience.
I still prefer IMAX more than real 3D though.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I think IMAX. It's got that crisp.
So the problem with 3D is that you have to be in that perfect position to the screen in order to appreciate it.
Well, I decided to go in the middle of a working weekday, so there's only me and a couple of other people were there, so
Do
I
you think they
think
should stop 3D in cinema? Do you think we get to a point where we're just kind of fed up with 3D?
I'm fed up with 3D, I have to admit.
I
But
remember when it
I
started.
think IMAX will carry on, but I don't think real 3D will stay
yeah. So,
because it's just
I mean, I have seen. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
no. go.
But I've seen one 3D film that legitimately made me go, jerk back in surprise because of it coming out of the screen so much, and that was the second G.I. Joe film.
Was it?
But-
Mine was Avatar.
And I think the only reason why I got that was because I had gained that perfect seat to get that 3D effect.
Oh, mine-
There have been loads of films that have specifically come out to be 3D. Like Judge Dredd 3D. That was only available in cinemas in 3D. And I didn't. I to this day I still don't see any difference between the
Yeah,
3D version and 2D.
in the beginning, yeah, Avatar was made for 3D. Then you had movies that's converted into 3D,
Mm.
and there were some movies that made in 3D
Mm.
because they had to get new
Yeah, because
cameras.
every screen would have to be reshot with a
Yeah.
3D capable
And it
camera.
was this big thing that TVs, came in 3D.
Yeah, like Sky Sports, you would be able to
Yeah.
watch the football in 3D.
And, and that thing just died out.
Mm.
Yeah. I actually wanted IMAX technology in standard TVs.
That would be fantastic. Yeah.
Or even better, if you was to get the Nintendo 3DS screens, because
Yeah, but then you have to.
I know, granted, it only work for one single person.
Does it?
Well,
Yeah,
it'd be
so-
it's one handheld console, so.
Oh, so if two-person can't see the 3D.
Well, you'd be looking at it from two diagonal angles with the image set to go up in one
I thought
straight.
it's like you can
angle.
move the.
So
Side to
with the
side,
standard 3DS, you can only see it from one angle.
Oh.
With the new 3DS, however, it's got like a face tracking sensor, so it knows where your face is in relation to the console, and
it'll
it
project
adjusts
that.
it.
Yeah.
So do you think 3D will die out? I think it kind of did die out. In
I
the
can-
mainstream.
I don't think it will die out entirely. I think it will cling to existence until either something completely replaces it, or but I don't think it will die out in the way that in all those piracy adverts where like cinemas are crumbling down and stuff like that. I don't think that will ever happen.
Because when they started 3D, they were making films through 3D cameras, like The Hobbit and everything. Then they stopped making films in 3D, then they just started converting it. So it's just a normal film, just converted into 3D. So I think, they're just going to die it out slowly.
Okay, so my time to talk. As well, talk about the MattG Gaming channel, about where we're going, because I'll admit the channel doesn't exactly have much of a fan base at the minute, but we do have a couple of comments, which I'd
Do we?
like to talk about.
I'm saying, like, do we? Wow, people listen to us?
Okay, so our first podcast, as it stands, has 36 views, and 3 likes, which is 3 more likes than I thought we would have, and 36 more views than I thought we would have.
How many likes do we have?
3.
And how many dislikes?
None.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
I'm happy.
And we do actually have a comment on it, which I was very surprised to have. And this is from Animated Thought Bubble. And it's basically, great to hear you guys doing the podcast. Sounds like you had a good time. The audio quality definitely needs work, because it's hard to hear you all sometimes, and it's tiny and crackly, but this stuff can be improved over time. Looking forward to hearing more.
Really? He said that?
Yeah, that's what I'm reading.
Oh, well. What's the name?
Animated Thought Bubble.
Animated Thought Bubble.
Mm.
Thank you for the comment.
And
we will improve.
yeah, for everybody who's thought the same thing or given up 15 minutes into the podcast, like some people have, we are working on getting it improved.
Improving.
In this podcast, we're working with a completely different audio system.
And we try to tighten up a bit more.
Yeah. The main problem was that somebody was muttering all the way through the previous podcast, so I wasn't able to do the proper effects that I needed to do. But yeah, we're definitely working on it. And seriously, guys, if you want to comment on this matter, don't be
anything good or bad.
Yeah, just comment on it. We'd rather.
We'd rather know what's wrong with it to make it best listening experience for everybody.
Yeah, that's it. And then I want to quickly talk about a comment which was put on one of my Total War videos, the last video, which was my victory video. This comes from Conco von Karstein.
Conco von Karstein.
And I'm guessing he's basically answering a question which I verbally asked in the video, which was, have any ideas about what they want me to do? And he basically says, could you do a campaign with the DEI mod? And DEI for Rome 2 Total War is basically a complete overhaul mod, which well, it revolutionizes the game. Like,
Oh, right.
but it also makes it dramatically much harder, sort of thing. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I'm an expert at Total War, but I am good. Okay.
Smug.
But no, I mean there are people who play this on like legendary difficulty and like
So
still,
it's pretty
yeah.
straightforward.
I'm playing it on normal, so that should give you some perspective.
Right.
But I've tried playing DEI, and the first time I ever played it, it legitimately gave me anxiety attack. So I uninstalled it for a time, and then in response to this comment, I've reinstalled it, and I'm currently playing the mod of the rough Sparta campaign.
Yeah.
I've played it through a number of times, but I can only play it through on easy. So it's going to take me a while to sort of like get to grips with how it fully works. But right now I'm doing a series on the Attila series, or Attila Total War game. And I'm basically just going to be recording it in one big bulk, and then doing videos as and when I can, so I edit them. And then once that series is done, I will then do a DEI series. And I was thinking of doing the Rise of the Republic campaign instead of doing the Grand campaign, simply because the way that I play DEI means that it's about turn 20, which would probably be about 3 or 4 episodes before I actually do anything worth watching. So I really need to figure out how I'm going to organize that for a DEI series. So to Conquer von Karstein, hanging there, I will be doing a DEI mod, I just don't know when. Okay, and then finally, where things are going. So I've got a number of videos which still need to be edited. So I did a GTA mission with Techx a couple of days ago. That's going to be going out very soon. But the main thing that we've really been focusing on, well, we started focusing on today, which sort of went south, is our 7 Days to Die campaign. So we started doing some recording for that today, and Techx managed to find me a brilliant server service. So we've now bought a 7 Days to Die server to help us with the gameplay. At the minute, it's just the two of us, because Ray is being stupid and not actually buying a gaming computer yet.
No, I have real life
Yeah.
and a girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm sure
Actually,
you
I
do.
don't know. I don't. I'm
But,
just saving up, guys. I'll buy a PC hopefully.
yeah, and Kenway from our New Year's video series was planning to join us, but yeah, I'll just leave it there. So, and aside from that, the Attila series and a continued Scrap Mechanic series.
Yep.
But
You guys still carrying on with the?
We've got some ideas.
Yeah. The problem is getting time where both of us are able to actually get down and play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the next video that we're going to do is the challenge mode on Scrap Mechanic, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
A while ago we did an episode where we make steam engines.
With the potato guns and everything.
And Techx one was a piece of art.
Yeah.
Like, it worked fantastically. But mine was insultingly bad, even by my standards. And when it came to editing this video, we realized that Tech's microphone hadn't actually picked up anything that he had said over the course of the 4 hours of recording that we had done. So we've shelved the steam engine video mostly so that I can actually research how to make this thing work, as opposed to any other technical difficulties. So we're going to be doing challenge mode and then probably do a piston episode.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
And we're definitely going to be doing a rocket-powered bunny episode for Easter.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, I think that's a good point to bring the podcast to a close.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining me, Tech and Ray. But Asian Dave is away in Dubai at the minute, so
yeah,
yeah,
we should expect him to.
yeah, hopefully he'll be with us in the next episode. And thanks for watching, thanks for listening, subscribe and like, and give Ray a punch in the face, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah.